So your homework tonight, you're going to make your own. You're going to make your own tables and everything. So the first question is, well, where do you start? Yesterday I gave you all the x values. So if you have a blank table, well, how do you know what to put for your x? There's a little hint built in that, well, whatever x's are visible on the graph, where you're going to graph it, those are the x's you want to use. So you probably want to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And then do the same thing we did yesterday. Now, in conjunction with what we did yesterday, I want you to use the factoring and vertex that we did before. So right here, like you could try to go here and say, oh, what numbers multiply to positive 1 and they add to 4? Right? And there is no numbers that do that, right? And that's why we really need this method. And that's why you might be asking, well, we already know how to graph parabolas. How come we're doing this long, arduous process? Because, well, if they're prime, like this one, you still have to graph it. Prime doesn't mean ungraphable. Prime just means we probably have some decimal roots, not some nice numbers. So that's why we're really practicing. If we have prime polynomials that don't factor, you still have to have a way of graphing them. But you could get down to like here and realize, okay, remember the first step is a GCF. So you factor out a 2 from all of them. And you can figure out, well, what two numbers multiply to 3 and add to negative 4, and this does factor. Right? So this one does factor. It'll be 2, x minus 1, x minus 3. And if you set that equal to 0, you'll get x equals 1 and x equals 3. So this one, like the test you just took, you could graph it using, okay, there's one root, here's another. The y-intercept is 6. So that's up here. I know the middle is going to be, the middle of my two roots is the axis of symmetry. Right? So because of the symmetry, I know this is another one. And now I can plug in my vertex, which is, 2. I can plug that into here, just like you guys did before, and figure out, okay, the vertex is 2 times 1 times negative 1, or negative 2. All right, so there's the vertex, and you can get the graph that way. But you could just go through, like you did last night, and plug in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these points, and you'll get the same graph. So you're kind of playing with both. I want you guys to figure out which one is faster, which one is easier. Like, I don't want you guys doing what you did last night on every problem, because you won't finish, tests and quizzes. It's something that you want to use when, everything else isn't working. But when possible, like, try to factor and solve, right? But something like this, if it's prime, you have no choice. As of right now, you have no choice. You kind of have to go through this process. Okay? So that's your homework tonight, just more practice. Worst case scenario, you just do what you did last night, but try to find faster ways by factoring instead of doing a table for everything, because it'll take you a long time. So you want to get to the point that I don't want to spend 2 hours trying to do all these. Let me see which ones I could do faster by factoring, and my homework time will be cut in half. So that's the incentive for you, is to figure out what you can factor and graph without the table, because your homework will be done a lot faster and still be just as accurate and correct. Okay?